Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar book review. This is going to be my review for The Legend of Korra, The Art of the Animated Series, Book 1 Air, hardcover, 2nd edition, deluxe edition. Yes, that really is the full title of this book. This thing is always a mouthful when it comes to talking about it, because it's not just the original Book 1 art book, which is easy to talk about. You have to specify that this is the 2nd edition of this art book and that it's the deluxe edition. So a lot going on here. So let's quickly do the brief sort of unboxing. What is the experience when you get one of these books? So the two I've got so far, the Avatar one and the Book 1 Korra one here, which are the only two out so far, have both come in these cardboard boxes that have obviously the barcode here, sticker on it. When you open up this, your book is obviously sort of held in here, and you do get this kind of leaflet that has the sort of barcode on it as well as some details about the deluxe editions. But the main thing, of course, is that you get your slipcase with the book and the lithograph inside. So let's just get this cardboard box out of the way here. So when you do get this straight out of the box, when you open up the cardboard, this is in plastic. I obviously had to open it up to go through the book so I could actually review it properly here. But this is what you get. It's all in here in plastic. And yeah, we'll quickly just go over this, because this is probably the best way to explain what the deluxe edition actually is. This image here shows you what it all is. You get the book, the lithograph, and the slipcase to hold everything. And then the deluxe edition, as described here, is a foil accented cover, a ribbon bookmark, a lithograph, and the deluxe slipcase. So the 2nd edition printing of this book is available in this deluxe set, but also as a regular book, which features the same cover just without the foil accents. And then the back cover obviously is more like a typical book where it has a description and a barcode. We'll get to that in a second here. The final thing to talk about on this is just that the slipcases, when you collect all of the deluxe sets, the spines of the slipcases together are going to make this really cool Rava and Vatu image. But if you count up the amount here in this picture, there are 6 deluxe sets. But there's only 5 art books to be reprinted. 1 for Avatar and 4 for Korra, for a total of 5. So what is this mysterious 6th book? Dark Horse have confirmed that it's not just a kind of editing thing with this image showing that there are 6 when there's only 5. They've confirmed there is a 6th book that they're not ready to talk about yet, so we don't know what that is. It's highly likely it's going to be something new that we haven't seen before, which is kind of exciting. My guess is that, like all the art books here that are going to make up the deluxe sets, it's going to be something that's more about the sort of behind the scenes process rather than any sort of story content. So they might do an art book for all of the comics that they've done so far. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is where we see the encyclopedia or a full series Bible type thing that maybe goes a little bit more in depth on the details of how the show was run rather than laser focused on the art like these art books are. But something like that. But we're going to have to wait a while to hear about that 6th book, because we still have to get the book 2, 3, and 4 Korra art books first. So let's switch over to actually addressing what you get, what you are buying with the deluxe set. So actually I have it upside down. So yeah, you get this slipcase. On the front is a kind of image here to represent Korra Book 1 Air, which is obviously the airbending symbol with some nice sort of cloud and wind effects going on. I think it looks quite nice. On the spine, we get the 2nd of the 6 parts of the Rava Vatu image. Obviously, we're still dealing with like the left-hand side of the image here, so we're not quite into Rava and Vatu just yet. On the back, nothing going on here, but you can see there's sort of a faded symbol pattern for all of the element symbols on the back, which is nice to see. And then it's sort of the same for the top and bottom. On the side, of course, you get your book as well as the lithograph, which, let's take it out. It's pretty tight fit, but that's good, because I'd say it's probably the best part of the deluxe sets is the slipcase. It to me is the kind of thing that feels like the most substantial part that you're paying extra for with the deluxe set, because it is pretty sturdy. You do get the nice image here, and the spine image is all related to this. The disappointment, I think, comes more with what the rest of the deluxe set actually is, which is when you open it up, you get your new art book here, second edition, with the fancy cover, which I'll show off in a second, and you get your lithograph. To me, the lithograph is 100% the weakest part of the deluxe set, because it's just the original art book cover image, plain. It's just an art print. Lithograph, when I hear the word lithograph, I think of something a little bit more fancy than just an art print in a kind of folio fold over. Like, nothing Avatar in the front, nothing Avatar in the back. It's the same color folio as the ATLA Deluxe Art Book as well. So nothing fancy going on there. And, you know, it's not even like that, like, thick or anything like that. It's quality, I guess, but it's not really what you'd expect from probably the main sort of almost collector's piece from the deluxe set, in that it's the art book, the thing to protect the art book, and then this is the extra thing. It's a little stale for me, even just 2 books in, and I think that's probably the thing I'd say about this whole deluxe setup here, is that I'm here pretty much to get this completed thing in the end. The new covers with the foil embellishment is kind of nice, but the rest of the set just doesn't feel like it's particularly worth it, and that's something I'm probably going to be saying about all of the art books going forward. So that's the lithograph there, or art print as it probably should be better called. Then that gets us to the art book itself. So brand new cover here. I believe it's sort of line work by Joaquin dos Santos and colored by Brian Konietzko. So that's that. Pretty cool stuff. So, you know, you see Book 1 Air, second edition, Art of the Animated Series, Mike Bryan and Joaquin dos Santos. Foreword by Janet Varney. That is new for the second edition. There was an introduction from Mike and Brian in the original art book. That's still here. There's just also a foreword by Janet Varney at the start of this book. The only other thing to really say about the cover here is that you get this in the standard second edition as well, is just what is the foil embellishment, the foil accents. It's along here, Korra's fire kick. There's little flakes and flecks of gold throughout it. It's maybe a little bit hard to see. You can sort of see, yeah, that's probably the best way you can see it there. All along, there's just these little flakes. There's even one on her foot, just there. So kind of nice, but again, very subtle. There's no foiling on the bottom of the image or even for the text. I think they should probably do the text in foil and some sort of extra bit that's specific to the image, and maybe put the text here also in foil. Because, you know, you're making a big deal out of having foil on the cover. Go all out, foil the whole cover out. You have a slipcase to protect it. Why the subtlety here? It was the same with the Avatar art book where they just did Aang's eyes and his tattoos. You know, go all out with that. And I'm hoping the images that they do for book 2, 3, and 4 maybe have a little bit more that they can do with this. Because, you know, it's a nice looking effect. That's quite cool. But for being the only thing that makes this cover different than the original one, it's a little light. The other thing is that obviously the back cover is rather sort of plain. It doesn't have a barcode, whereas like the standard edition is going to have a barcode. And I suppose the back is going to look a little bit more like this, because it's, you know, you pick it off the shelf, it has to have the barcode on it. So you get the kind of plain back with a really nicely sort of cropped image here. I have this image as a poster from a while back. So Korra and Naga love this image, so I really like that they chose that there, and it makes the back covers for these books feel a little bit different. So let's jump inside and go through what's actually sort of new and different about this book. In general, it's basically the same as the original book. So they're more or less identical in terms of their content inside. The main difference, though, is that the new version, the second edition, like I said, has a foreword by Janet Varney, which is like 2 extra pages right at the start, with the foreword by her. I'll show that off in a second. And then at the back of the book, there are 6 pages of art by the show creators. What did they say here? Yeah, new artwork from the crew of the animated series. So it's Brian, Joaquim Dos Santos, and Lauren Montgomery, a lot of the high-ups who worked on the show. They have some sketch work stuff at the back. Again, if you saw my video where I went over the ATLA Deluxe Art Book, it's a very similar style of stuff. You've probably seen these images on Brian's Instagram, Lauren's Instagram, Joaquim's Instagram, and so on. So they're not really like exclusive to this book, they just throw them in right at the end to finish off the book. So let's go over that. And like I said, beyond that, there's not a lot going on here. Inner pages are just blue. And you get basically straight into the book after that. You've got the usual stuff, as you go through the early pages. And yeah, then the contents is of course changed slightly to address the new pages right at the start of the book. But like I said, it's just forward by Janet Varney and then into the introduction that we have in the other book. So here's the forward by Janet Varney across these 2 pages. A nice image of the team here, the Fire Ferrets up here. But yeah, it's from Janet Varney, October 2020. I'm not going to read out the whole thing. It's just a nice reflection across 2 pages from Janet Varney about her appreciation from a voice acting perspective on the art of the series, and that while she sort of is Korra, she has a unique experience when she sees Korra on screen animated by Studio Mirror and the art by a lot of the creators and stuff like that. She goes over, a little bit of the process behind, Ryuki Hyun and him drawing that original image of, 4-year-old Korra. And he was the one who wrote on the Avatar, "You Gotta Deal With It," and they kept that in the show. A brief rundown of her at the SDCC 2012 panel, where more or less the cast was debuted to the fans for the first time, and so on. So, just what you'd expect from Janet Varney as a sort of ambassador of the Avatar franchise. They have her in like the Dark Horse streams. She's doing the forward here. It's exactly what the sort of stuff that you'd want. So it's a nice forward. Would I tell you guys to buy the book just to read it? Not really, but it's a nice extra. What they seem to be doing with the Korra 2nd edition art books is that they're going to be getting one of the main voice actors to do the foreword for each book. The description for the book 2 2nd edition art book has come out, and PJ Byrne, the voice of Bolin, is going to be doing the foreword there. So I'm guessing David Faustino will do the book 3 or 4 one, and Seychelles Gabriel will do the other one. So that way you cover your main Team Avatar members doing the foreword for each of the books. So that seems nice as an extra little thing. Beyond that, the art book, as you'd expect, is sort of the same, where like it goes over the early development section, and then after that you get into it sort of episode by episode. When new characters are introduced, you get the character designs, some commentary, concept art. You have a few sort of animatics or keyframe sections as they go through it. It's a nice art book. Like, that's the main thing to say. These Dark Horse art books in general are good. It's basically the same as it was before, just with a little bit extra at the start, a little bit extra at the end, and obviously the different cover, of course. And it's exactly what you'd expect. So, you go through all of the stuff. Here's a lot of the pro bending stuff in that section. And again, there's a decent amount of like nice commentary as you go through the book. Information that, they only really feature in the art book. So there's stuff like that that's really, really cool. In that, like, oh look, there's a lot of the avatars on this page. Very, very cool. But the section we're looking at, of course, is the ancillary art, which is where they add stuff. So this is where they have a lot of the more random pieces of art, of course, like this and so on, the DVD cover. We go through a lot of that stuff, and then we get to the final few pages of the book where you have your kind of promo pictures that they put out on social media at the time. They go over the new friends and old friends poster, which is very cool. And then when you turn the page after new friends, old friends, this is the new stuff. So you can see here the concept art stuff behind the cover for this book itself, as you can see there, where it's confirmed that, of course, it's Joaquim dos Santos's line work. Then you have some Korra sketches on the other page by Lauren Montgomery, which you can find on her Instagram. Then you have two Brian images here of Pabu, Naga, and Korra, which again are nice. It's nice to see Brian doing the chibi style. There's Brian's Mako doing some lightning generation, and also Joaquim dos Santos's image of Korra. And then this image is what they finished the book with, which is the same as in the original book. So there are your sort of 6 extra pages of content in terms of the sketches, and then also the 2 extra forward pages. The only thing to say about this, I think, remaining as a set, is just that the book 1 art book is notable compared to all of the other ones. So the book 2, 3, 4, and the ATLA art book, because this is the shortest art book. Originally, the original copy, of course, was 144 pages. The other 4 art books were 184 pages. So straight away, book 1 has 40 less pages than all of the other art books. The same is true with the deluxe editions. Like, they all have 7 or 8 extra pages because of their new forwards or new pieces of art in them. But fundamentally, we're still in a situation where this is the smallest, the thinnest of the new art books, and the price doesn't change to reflect that. This book is the same price as the ATLA art book, even though there's 40 more pages. This is going to be the same price as the remaining 3 art books, which are also going to have 40 more pages. So I didn't quite like that. I think the price should have been adjusted a little bit to bring it down, to keep it in line with the fact that it has 40 is a notable amount of pages that it has less. Obviously, there's only 12 episodes in book 1, so it sort of makes sense why it's maybe a little bit shorter. But it's also the start of the series. You'd expect with the early development stuff for them to have maybe a little bit more to go over, but there's not. That's where, you know, maybe they could have done a little bit extra with this one to add in more content. But as you can see here, this deluxe format is very much just a simple format for them to do. They have the creators do some fan art themselves. They feature that in the book. They get a forward at the start. They slightly alter the cover to have a little bit of foiling in it, and that's really about it. The value for money prospect of this book is the biggest criticism for sure. It's exactly what I said about the ATLA Deluxe Art Book. Never pay full price for one of these sets. It's just, you know, paying full price, $80 for this, the lithograph, and this. It's not worth it. So unless you're a collector and really wants to go for the spine image, having the full deluxe sets just because they're the collector's thing, that's the main reason for you to go for the collector's sets. My recommendation would be that if you don't have any of the art books, then yes, you should get the second edition art books, but you should probably just get the standard edition. So you get the new cover and the extra pages and stuff like that, but you're not paying extra for stuff that you perhaps don't need. So for me, I almost like disregard the lithograph as not being that important. Really, it's like, do you want to pay extra to have this? And with a bunch of other books that cost the same, do you want to make this ever-growing spine image, which I'll show off now. And then, yeah, forgot to mention this, but the other thing that I suppose is deluxe is the ribbon bookmarker here, which was gold with ATLA, but it's blue for this book 1 art book for Korra. So, you know, it's just a piece of fabric here to be the bookmarker, but, you know, it's nice. That's about really all there is to say. So, that's that. So yeah, I'm just going to put this back in, and then I'll show you the two art books sort of next to each other. So here is our sort of image so far. I'm probably not holding these flat enough together, but yeah, it's pretty, it is actually fairly accurate there, the way they go up against each other. So we've sort of completed the fire symbol and the air symbol in the corners, and starting the, I suppose starting with the next book, will actually feature some of Rava and Vatu there. So that's pretty cool. As far as comparisons go, you can see the ATLA art book has the glider symbol, the Korra art book has the air symbol. That's sort of the main difference there. And then if you kind of look at them here from the front, you can probably straight away see how much thinner the Korra art book is than the Avatar art book. That's your 40-page difference, pretty much. So that's that. And then the final thing will be, I guess, just showing you a comparison between the actual art books themselves. So there are the two Deluxe Art Book covers, and there's the back covers. You can see what they're kind of going for with the style on the back. But yeah, foil embellishment is some gold flaking there in the fire, and then for Aang, of course, it's the arrow tattoos have some silver kind of foiling. So that's the situation there with that. But yeah, there's my review for the Legend of Korra Book 1 Air Art of the Animated Series, 2nd edition, deluxe edition, magical stuff. It's cool. A lot of it depends on if you have the art book already. I personally don't really recommend the deluxe edition that much because it's not particularly great value for money. It is double the price of the standard version of the book for not that much extra. So don't pay full price and only buy the deluxe thing if you're a collector and really value collecting the spine image thing. Other than that, probably just try and maybe go for just the 2nd edition, like normal version of the books. That maybe is the best of both worlds. But I'm a collector, I do want that stuff, so that's why I am picking up the deluxe set. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the full cover for the book 2 art book looks like. Book 2 is my favorite book of Korra, so I'm really excited to see all the spirit stuff, maybe some Wan, Rava, Vatu they have on the cover there. But yeah, that has been the review for this Korra Book 1 art book. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have any questions? I'll answer them below. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.